What the duck is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Duck Takes. And today we got a special episode. What a way to kick off October. We have the man himself, Evan Solo.
What's up, you guys? Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
It's a huge honor, to be on Duck Takes. I've been watching you guys for a bit, so it's real cool to be on the set and stuff.
Hell yeah. Good to have you here.
Had to, bro.
Yeah,
Had to. We
had
heard
to.
you were in Orlando. We were like, hell yeah, we gotta
man.
get
When
this
I
guy
found
on
out
here.
you guys were in Orlando, I was like, oh, we have to do something.
Yes.
We have to.
Mhm.
Has to happen. So it's real cool to be here.
Yeah, man. Great to have you here. You probably know him on TikTok. Just hit 1 million followers. So congrats on that. That's big time right there.
Thank you, brother.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
yeah, we just had to have you on because you're a big horror movie guy.
Yeah, I
And
love horror movies.
Yeah, what a way to kick off October than to have you on here, because today we're going to be talking about the scariest movies that we've ever seen. And we've been keeping up on our scary movies. So
Trying to, yeah.
there's some recent watches that are definitely making the list.
Yeah.
All right. But a little background. We got to get to know Evan at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
We got flown out on behalf of Peacock there and for their Those About to Die show and their Teacup horror show as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, was that your first time like getting invited?
That was my second time, but it was the first time I got invited and like built a bond with,
Okay.
People there. Like I met you
Yeah.
guys there and I was like,
Yeah.
man, these dudes are cool. I gotta hang out with them. I gotta make some content with them. I gotta, and finding out you guys are in Orlando, it's real cool because there's not a lot of content creators in
Mhm.
Orlando, at
Yeah.
least in our niche.
Mhm.
So it's like finding out you guys were here. It's
Yeah.
great.
No, it really was cool to like get to know other content creators. That was the first time we got invited to something. So
Yeah, bro. They started giving us the royal treatment. We were like,
yeah,
this is crazy.
Oh yeah, you guys earned it.
it was crazy. Like, man, the first dinner, that group dinner,
Yeah.
It was great.
That kind of set the tone for the whole trip.
Yeah.
that did.
yeah.
That set the tone. Shit, what else was there? I mean,
The hotel.
Yeah, the hotel.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was-
them just giving us a per diem at the hotel
Yeah.
too.
It was
like,
great. And just like all the things that they had like planned for us, like outside of Comic-Con, like
Mhm.
the other
Yeah.
parties and just stuff like that. It was great.
it was really cool. Yeah, you missed out on one party.
Oh man.
Oh wait,
Oh, the,
yeah, you weren't there.
the chance to meet Melissa Barrera,
Bro.
and I wasn't there. He sent me a picture of him
Yeah.
with Melissa, and I was like, no way, there's no shot. I remember looking at my phone in the hotel room like, no. But that was just awesome. You also met with A-Train. You met
Yeah.
there's so many
Yes.
people there.
Yes.
Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of the cast of the boys.
That was so awesome.
Who
I
else?
wish I
Yeah.
was there.
Black Noir. And yeah, Starlight.
Starlight.
Aaron Marioni. Yeah. They were all really cool. And I feel like
Victoria Newman.
we didn't get to meet her, but she was there.
Yeah, she was.
Obviously, since her and
That's
Jack
so
Quaid are
cool.
dating.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they were all really nice, especially Melissa, bro. She was so nice. Like, I think I'm even more in love with her now after meeting her. Cause like, that honestly meeting a celebrity sometimes, someone who you look up to, it could not go well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes they say never meet your hero.
True, but I will say I think like this like younger generation of
Agreed.
actors, I think they're a little bit more
Down to
Appro-
earth.
yes, a little more down to earth, a little bit more appreciative.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we may not run into that, especially like meeting, people who are around our age, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, I feel like the younger generation of celebrities, they get the whole social media thing. And
Yeah.
They get
Yeah.
and I feel like that was them at one point. Like they would be in the same shoes. So
Yeah, most definitely.
and I feel like it's those older celebrities that like they kind of forget what it's like to be that person, meeting that person that you really look up
Mhm.
to. So
Mhm.
they can get kind of like bitter and just annoyed with all the meet and greets after a long time. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's normally how that goes.
Yeah, that was a really fun experience out in San Diego for sure. But yeah, tell just like the backstory of this whole journey through TikTok, man.
So I started making TikToks right after I graduated high school back in 2020.
Mhm.
And what happened was with COVID and everything, my choices were either work
Mhm.
or pay to do online school. And it was like,
Mm.
I was already struggling with school for 12 years already. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to pay to do it again, but
Yeah.
online. So it was
Yeah.
like, I went straight to work and I started working at an oil change place. And while I was working there, I used to just make TikToks on the job.
Mhm.
And I think that was the first time I may have gotten in trouble for making content on the job. It was
Oh,
in the
really?
uniform and stuff like
yeah,
that. Yeah, and they didn't like it. So that happened. And on that first account, I used to just talk about like different things that was going on in like maybe the YouTube space, say if a YouTuber got exposed or something, I'd make a video like making jokes on it, you know?
Yeah.
18, young, I'm into drama. I just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
That did not go well. I got banned at I want to say right at 100, it's like 101,000. Like I just hit 100K, got clipped. And then I made the second account, didn't think of like changing the content whatsoever, was still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Got banned again, but that was like, I want to say 8-9 months down the line at 150K.
Yeah.
Damn.
146, 47K. Like it was like right before 150. I remember I was like ready to celebrate it.
See, it's
Yeah.
funny.
Page was
You know,
gone.
you know exactly when they get you too.
Yeah.
You
And it's like, cause I was like anticipating, I'm like, man, I'm about to hit like 150,000. I've never done this before.
Yeah.
Gone. Couldn't get in, nothing. So that happened. And I took a break, I want to say for about a week and a half, because I wasn't planning on doing content anymore. But it was like too much stuff I wanted to talk about. Like things I would naturally like think of and be like, oh, I got to make a video on this. I wasn't doing it, but I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I made the third account, and the third account is the one I'm on now. That's the movie account.
The
and
Millie.
yeah, man, I'm glad
that's
I
sick.
just needed to find something that I wouldn't get banned for, that I wouldn't get in trouble for, talking about like movies, you know,
Mhm.
these endless movies come
Everybody
out.
talks about movies.
Yeah, all the time.
I feel like that's kind of been the case for a lot of other content creators that we've talked to as well. Is like the pandemic is really what got a lot of people creating content. Cause
People were bored, bro.
yeah,
I started writing rap lyrics, bro. Like
he did.
I never posted anything
did.
about it, but I did
Whoa.
start writing
Should
some
we
of that.
post Garrett's raps on the
No,
Patreon?
never.
Should we post them on the Patreon?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I think you might have to post them on the Patreon.
Nah, bro. It ain't
Oh
happening.
my god, that would be funny. But yeah, I was still in college. Yeah, I graduated December 2020, and I was doing film school at UCF, and had a really great internship in the beginning of the year with a production company here. I was like getting on a lot of commercial sets and everything. Their biggest client was Universal, so they do a lot of behind the scenes shit of Universal. I remember I was on one shoot for they were doing behind the scenes stuff of Velocicoaster. It wasn't open yet. They were still building it.
Wow.
And yeah, it was pretty
That's cool.
cool. Yeah, just getting on those sets. Like one time we did a early morning shoot for NASCAR for Daytona 500. Where I think it was Richard Petty that was there, and they were doing something for NASCAR there. We had to be there at like 7 a.m. too. So I had to be at Adrenaline Films at like 4 a.m. That's the thing too about working on sets is like you don't know what fucking time. It could be any time that you need to be there. It could be any time that you leave.
I feel like a lot of times they do start early as hell in the morning, though.
Yeah, but that was going really well. Halfway through that, COVID hit, and just like, yeah, like even a year after that, everything was still closed. Like all the production companies were closed. So, shit, I didn't know what to do. So I was still working the restaurant job, and like, well, fuck it. People want to hear me talk. Be my guest. I'll just start making videos. And then this kid joined on and started taking off.
Well, started taking off when I joined on. He wanted me to join at first, but I knew how he could get. Like you've seen him literally within the hour that you've been here, like his OCD about stuff, and I was like,
making sure the set's all nice. Everything's gotta
So
be perfect.
like I know how he can get about that kind of stuff, and especially if this becomes something like it is now, I knew he could be a little overbearing. But eventually, like 6 months after he started, I was like, fine, I'll join. That's the end of it. and
Look,
here we are.
Now we're both here. History has been made.
Yep.
But, hey, you guys are doing great. You guys are dropping amazing content. I like
Thanks.
watching it. So
Appreciate it,
Absolutely,
bro.
absolutely. Thank you. As to you as well. That's why we
Thank
got
you,
you
thank you.
here. About to dive into this horror movie shit. Let's get going. So
get it.
first, every podcast we do a segment, Ugly Duckling, where we give a movie that may have not gotten the best critical reception when it came out, and that just deserves a little more love. So Evan, what is your Ugly Duckling for this week?
my ugly duckling for this week is Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky.
On Rotten Tomatoes, I believe it has like a 40% critic score.
Okay.
And from other Chucky fans that I've talked to, it's not their favorite movie in the franchise whatsoever. But what I like so much about it is it's different. It's like we've seen Chucky try to go after Andy for 3 movies straight. Now, he's got Tiffany, and now he's involved with this little couple that wants to run away and be involved with their own thing. And it's just, I feel like it's just a different side of Chucky that expanded to what we got now. Like he ended up having kids. There's like more Chucky's. I don't know if you guys have been watching the show, but
Nah.
No,
Oh.
was that's one franchise that I got to make my way through. I did watch the original Child's Play and I enjoyed that, but man, there's just so many franchises with so many movies.
yeah,
But I feel like I feel like even though that didn't get great critical reception. I feel like Bride of Chucky though is like iconic now, you know, or who's the actress that plays
Jennifer
Tilly, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Tilly.
yeah. I feel like a lot of people love Jennifer Tilly for sure.
Yeah.
But there's always those. That's what I love about the horror genre too, especially with those big franchises, is that you're gonna find one of those movies that does not have good reception. That it's just like, but it just feels right to you, you know?
Yeah,
Like your
Yeah.
Halloween 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I've already used it as an ugly duckling.
No, I know. You're not using it this time. I'm just saying, like, Bride of Chucky, that's his Halloween 3 for you.
All right, where would that rank in your Chucky
now this
franchise?
this probably gonna be the hot take, but I got it at 3.
3? Where would
Yeah.
you have the original one?
I got it at 1.
Okay.
I got the original at 1, and then I got was it Curse? No. Yeah, it is Curse. Curse is
Okay.
like the brand new reboot that dropped on Netflix back in 2013.
Yeah.
That's number 2 for me because that was like Chucky back to his roots with a brand new
Mhm.
family, and it was real good. I liked it. And then Bride at 3. I love
Alright.
Bride.
Gary, what's your ugly duckling?
My ugly duckling is Meet the Robinsons.
Oh,
You remember that movie?
Of course I remember that movie.
Dude,
wait, that wasn't received well. I could have swore.
it's like.
Was it not?
So it got 67% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
So
Oh,
not
terrible.
Not terrible, but not great. But also, I also look at budget. Like that's a big thing.
Mm.
So budget was 150, box office 170 million.
Okay.
So
it didn't.
did not turn a profit
no,
at
at
all.
all.
Yeah.
But I remember loving this movie as a kid. And there's some like deep,
There
heartfelt,
are
Deep
emotional
messages
moments
in it. Yeah.
Like this movie was funny. I feel like it had all the makings of like a childhood classic, but just didn't stick.
Now, do you feel like if that movie was to drop like maybe this year or like sometime in the 2020s, do you think it'd be received better or do you think it'd be?
I feel like it might be like with the right like
Mhm.
marketing and like, just pushing it more, I guess, because I feel like it was like a sleeper
Yeah.
animated movie.
Yeah, because I think that came out in 2007. If I'm not, I am the
Yeah.
movie year guy, so I would know.
You're right.
Yeah,
I,
no, I
I
think it
just
is
looked it up
07.
a few minutes ago. It was 2007. I don't know why he knows that. But
Maybe we could play that game later too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and because that was a time when you were in the middle of like Pixar taking off with The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Toy Story hadn't dropped since, because there's a big gap between 2 and 3, but like Pixar was the heavy hitter
Yeah.
of that, mid 2000s, and like DreamWorks was coming out with bangers too. I feel like between like Shrek 1, Shrek 2, your favorite movie of all time, right? Shrek 2, yeah.
Shrek 2, you already
Shrek
know.
2.
Yes, sir.
He's freaking repping it right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, Shrek on my shirt. I came in with some Shrek Crocs. I know you see
Yeah.
them.
I saw your Shrocks.
My Shrocks.
But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of great animated movies going on at the time, and it kind of just went under the rug.
It did.
The music was great too.
Music was good, dude. I'm telling you, it had like all the makings of a childhood
Yeah.
classic,
Mhm.
and it just isn't talked about like these other animated movies that we talk
Right.
about from our childhood. So,
I agree.
Meet the Robinsons. Like, I wouldn't say I know anybody that dislikes that movie, but it just doesn't get enough love.
Not enough love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my ugly duckling, I'll keep it in the horror genre. I know I already used up Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, but I might go Halloween 6 Curse of Michael Myers.
How many Halloween movies we gonna put in this ugly duckling category, bro? Like, what the fuck?
It's ugly and it's a duckling though. But I don't know. There's just something about the Curse of Michael Myers that kind of separates itself in terms of like the vibe and the tone of it. Like it was very dark metal 90s. Like you go back and watch it, you listen to the music, it has a very metal music aspect to it. I think the kills were a step up from what we were getting. I mean, shit, it starts off with him fucking grinding Jamie in that remember in that barn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish Jamie didn't get killed off. I
Yeah.
thought Jamie was such a cool character. Like being the niece of Michael
Mhm.
Myers is just.
I think she's the best character in that franchise.
I wouldn't disagree. I
Yeah.
feel like they had a lot of potential to like do something with her, but I
Mhm.
feel like killing her off was just.
No, wasn't the way to do it. Yeah, no, because Danielle Harris gave a hell of a performance as a kid too.
Yeah.
Hell of a performance. I do think she is the best character, even more so than Laurie Strode. But I think the kills were a step up from Halloween 4 and 5. They got creative with it. Yes, like I know a lot of people were not big fans on what it did with like the lore of Michael Myers, and he was essentially
Like a curse placed on him or something.
Yeah, it was like some
Cult of Thorn.
cult entity. Yeah, I know you haven't seen
I
that
haven't
one.
seen it,
Yeah,
but-
It gets wild.
I mean, what's wrong with that though? It would put some explanation on why the fuck this
But-
man is supernatural.
but
But,
that's-
is it explaining the magic? Or is-
yes.
Yeah.
It's taking away the magic of
Yeah.
him just being like just fucking
Evil,
evil
just-
presence,
yeah.
evil entity.
Kind of like how I hate the explanation of the Avatar state in
In Korra,
Korra.
right?
Yeah.
Because
So
yeah, like
to me, that took away the magic.
I think lore
Oh.
lore is great, but if you do like a little too much lore, or if you do shitty lore,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good lore is fine.
But there are a few different cuts of that movie too. There's the director's cut and the theatrical cut, and I think I like if I'm not mistaken, the theatrical cut better. They're vastly different too.
Did one? I may be thinking of a different Halloween movie. Did one of them end up with like somebody in a Michael mask getting hit by a car or getting their head cut off, but it wasn't Michael?
That was Halloween H2O.
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 Okay.
Because then Halloween Resurrection came out in that timeline to bring back Michael Myers, because they ended up saying that Michael placed the mask on some nurse or something.
Yeah. He
'Cause-
he tore his like throat cords out so he
Yes.
couldn't speak or anything. That's like
Yes. Yes.
insane.
Yeah. Because in the contract, you cannot kill off Michael Myers. That's in his contract, bro. Can't break the contract. So they had to go back and fix that. Because
That's wild,
what's her name?
bro.
Jamie Lee.
I gotta make it through the
Yeah.
Halloween franchise.
No, Jamie Lee.
What have I watched? I've seen
You've seen
Halloween
1, 2, 3.
I saw the Halloween
2018?
2018.
I think that's it. Did you see any of the Rob Zombie ones?
Nah.
Okay. We'll maybe talk about those in a little bit. But yeah, because Jamie Lee Curtis expressed how she really wanted that to be like the final battle between her and Michael as well. And they were like, fuck it, let's just do it. And then they were like, well, sorry, but we're going to make Halloween Resurrection to fix that.
Yeah.
That's the one with Busta Rhymes.
Yeah. Busta Rhymes
Jesus
and
Christ. What business does Busta Rhymes have in a fucking Halloween movie?
I don't know, but you know what? He's kind of good in it.
yeah, if you want to see Busta Rhymes do a roundhouse kick, that's your movie.
Oh my god, bro.
He's he's funny in it. He is funny in it. But let's dive into this episode. But I forgot to mention too, Evan did bring us a gift for the studio, a fucking signed Jason Voorhees mask by Jason Voorhees himself, CJ Graham.
Yeah, so I met CJ Graham at Spooky Empire last year. I think it was in May. And I went up to him the first time and I got that signed. But like they didn't have like a lot of people I wanted to meet there. So I was like, let me go say what's up to Jason again. And I went up there to have like a casual conversation with him. And he gave me like a free signed print.
That's
Like,
sick.
here, you can keep this. They say no more.
Yeah.
So like before I came here, I was like, I want to show them like I appreciate you guys like inviting me to the podcast and stuff. I was like, I gotta make a name for myself here. I gotta go crazy. So the Jason mask, I know Blake would love that.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking of something for Garrett for the set. So
You're good, bro. That's
That's
plenty already.
Bro,
My God.
that is quite the
that's
addition
more
to the
than
set.
enough.
Nah,
quite the
man.
addition to the set. Cause yeah, I made my way through that whole franchise last year, and I did have Friday the 13th, the part 6 as my number one Friday the 13th movie, which I think that's his first one. That's his first Friday movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That dude is fucking unit, bro.
Huge. Yeah.
Huge. So
Was that like intimidating meeting him in person?
No, in
Was he, like-
person, like it's crazy because it's like I'm seeing him and I'm like, he's a little older, but this dude is like,
is he still huge?
yes,
Yeah.
his shoulders are like blocky. He's got like Brock Lesnar shoulders. It was like,
Mhm.
wow,
Damn.
yeah, But it was
sick
real cool,
addition.
man.
Yeah, that's sick. So thanks again for that addition to the set.
of course.
That's so sick. All right.
Yes, sir.
Let's dive into it. Scariest movies that we've ever seen. So recently on TikTok, we put out a video about the scariest movies according to science. And we were trying to make our way through a lot of those movies and just a lot of scary movies in general. So I thought this would be, like a great episode to talk about, especially to kick off October. So what we'll do is we'll go one by one, list off one of the scariest movies that we've ever seen, chat about that movie, and just keep it casual. So we'll start it off for one of the scariest movies you've ever seen.
How about our guest?
All right.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
go ahead
probably
and
a
start
good way to go.
The first movie that comes to the top of my head for like the scariest movie I've ever seen, I think it's because I watched it when I was a kid. Have you guys ever seen Ju-on the Grudge? It's the Japanese version of the Grudge.
Right. I haven't seen that
terrifying. One. It's way scarier than the American remake version, and it's just imagine walking into an abandoned house and a curse it's placed on you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna die because you walked into that abandoned house.
No matter what.
Yeah, because I guess in the house there was like a father that lost his mind and he ended up killing his wife and his son. So the wife and son, they haunt that house, and anybody that steps in, they haunt them and like basically make them go insane before, they die and stuff. And there's a specific scene that scared me so much because when you were a kid, when you got scared, you go under the blanket, right?
Oh, crap.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a scene where like she looks under the blanket and the Grudge is there and pulls her under?
Yes.
Yeah. That scene terrified me as a kid. And yeah, Ju-on the Grudge has just been one of those movies. Like whenever someone says, what's the scariest? Ju-on the Grudge.
Really?
Dang.
Grudge.
Yeah.
Yeah. FYI, if anyone doesn't know who's listening now, like I used to fucking hate horror movies when I was a kid. I did not like being scared, bro. Like if you were to tell me 15, even 10 years ago that I'd be fucking doing a podcast on scariest movies I've ever seen, I'd be like, you're out your goddamn mind. Cause I'm like, what's the point of being scared, bro? I'm not trying to get scared. But
he was so easy to scare too, bro.
So
like
easy.
You hit around a corner and you jump out of him.
yeah.
Just
Game over.
terrified.
Dude, you know what? Maybe this subconsciously came into effect too when my dad fucked me up with this one. Do you remember those computer games? Back in like
where you got to try to get it in and pop up.
Yes. So I was like 7 or 8 years old, and my dad was in the office. He was like, "Hey, come play this computer game." And this is with no context. Like he didn't tell me what the computer game was. So I'm just like playing the game. And yeah, I think it was the shot of Reagan from The Exorcist that pops up really quick and screams at you. I hid under that desk crying for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I remember it was that game that got me. And then there was a video called Ghost Car. Have y'all ever seen Ghost Car? It's literally a 6-second video. It's a car just driving on a long, narrow road. And like you're focusing on the car. You're not really paying attention. You're thinking something's going to happen, like it's going to disappear. And like some zombie lady pops out and starts screaming like at the very end. And I feel like you guys may have seen the video.
It's possible.
I may have seen like a clip of it. Like, I don't know.
It's just, that is like, it was pretty much like the game where you had to kind of like try to get to the end. That was, man, we got traumatized as children.
Really
that is
did.
crazy.
But you know what? We need to bring some of that back,
Yeah, I think the new generation needs it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that to my kids.
Hey, kid, you want to play this game on the computer?
They need a little taste of their own medicine too. All right, Garrett, one of the scariest movies you've ever seen. What you got for us?
God, honestly, I feel like I'm repeating myself because we just talked about like the top 10 scariest movies according to science, and we were catching up on that. But I'm gonna sound basic as hell. I'm gonna go with The Conjuring.
Is that on anyone else's list? It's on my list.
It's on my list.
Yeah,
that's
like it's got to be talked about, dude. So James Wan, I will continue to say it, is just like the master of jump scares.
The way he's able to put a movie together, it's well, how old were you guys when you first saw The Conjuring? Because I feel like that played like a huge role on why it was so scary to me.
Because it came out in what, 2013? So I probably didn't watch it like right when it came out. So at the very least, I was probably like 16 when I first watched it.
Yeah, definitely early teens.
Still fairly young.
Yeah, fairly young. And if I'm mistaken too, they shot that movie in order. They shot that movie in order as well. You usually don't see for a lot of movies.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's insane.
Honestly, I feel like that would like help the actors like kind of stay in the
know where the story is.
Like stay in the universe and like where you're at.
Like
Yeah,
one
no.
minute you shoot a sad scene, then it's like next scene is happy, and you're like,
Yeah. Might throw you off.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was shot in chronological order, and principal photography lasted only 38 days for that movie as well.
wow.
Insidious was only like 3 weeks of shooting. It
Damn.
was crazy. So I think
Dude.
that's also what I appreciate about horror movies is like what you can accomplish in such a short amount of time as well, and
feel
like
like- I
what
feel
they
like-
have to go up against with in the first place.
I feel like there's so many fun facts about that, about
Yeah.
horror movies in particular. Like, oh, they took 3 days to shoot this. They did this on a budget of $50,000. Like,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
shit like that. Like they work with what they got, and they still
Mhm.
come out with like an amazing product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't think that movie is as effective as it is if it wasn't for James Wan. Like, honestly, when it comes to horror directors, I know James Wan gets his respect, but maybe not as much as you would think.
I think he's real slept on. Like you don't
Yeah.
see him get put up there with like the John Carpenters
Right.
or
Yeah.
like brain fart. I can't even think of
There
his
you
name.
go. Oh, brain fart. I was like, which
He
one
made
think of?
Scream. He made Scream.
Oh, Wes Craven.
Wes Craven, yes.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't get put on those same levels, but it's like James Wan. If you look at his filmography,
Mhm.
he's got the movies to back
Yeah.
it up. Like why
Yeah.
he should be up there.
Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring. Do you think it's because he's a more modern horror maker, or
It
like
could,
it's tough, or is it maybe the type of horror that it is?
I think it's
I
that.
think it might be
Yeah.
the type of horror.
Because I was just about to say, because like you've said before, everybody considers jump scares to be like the cheapest form of horror,
right.
but they work. And when
Yeah.
you do them well,
When you do
like,
them well,
either way, like, I'm still getting chills down my spine. Like that's
Yeah.
not fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly whatever he's doing is working. And if he can consistently do that, like why would he not be, considered one of those great horror directors?
Mhm.
I feel like what it may need is like maybe a little bit more time. Like I feel like maybe after a few more years where
Yeah.
some of his other movies get looked at as classics, like
Yeah.
like Halloween, like anytime Halloween comes around, I'm putting on Halloween,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the original,
Mhm.
So I feel like maybe after some time he might get that respect. I
Mhm.
think he deserves it now though.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
Because, both of those, Insidious and The Conjuring, and Saw, all of his creations have turned into big franchises.
Mhm.
And yeah, the more movies you make within that franchise, even though he didn't direct them, he's still attached to those franchises. So maybe it like dilutes what he was able to accomplish with those movies to begin with. But like even Saw was such an amazing achievement within itself as well. So yeah, I think when it comes to the great horror directors, a lot of people do sleep on James Wan because like he doesn't get put in those type of conversations.
Which is why I
Yeah.
actually am excited for Teacup.
Yeah.
I want to watch.
Teacup
I want to watch
looked really
Teacup,
good.
bro. That
The clips they showed
yeah.
us, it
Yeah.
looked
that
really
shit
good.
looked creepy.
No, I was not expecting to be as intrigued as I was when we saw those clips at San Diego Comic-Con. I was like, it's actually
I think what it was like I don't know if I can even
Sound
talk
design,
about
man.
it. Am I able to talk about it? I mean, it
The fuck
drops.
I mean,
shit
yeah,
now,
dude,
man.
it's
Yeah,
about
I
to
mean,
be out or it is out. I don't
It
know.
was like when the force field, the lady went past the force field, and her skin started, like
Yeah.
her bones were shooting out of her body. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wow, that is. I
Well,
wasn't intrigued at
No,
first,
like
but now I am.
the body horror was good, and
Yeah.
like the freaking sound effects.
Mhm.
And it's James Wan, so you know it's
yeah.
it's gonna be on par.
Yeah, no, I'm hyped for that.
Yeah. Okay. I think everyone has a different memory for this one, but what is your scariest jump scare in The Conjuring?
In The Conjuring, we were just talking about this. Dude, honestly, I think mine is the hands that come out and clap.
Really? What's
I-
yours?
Wait, in the original movie or like the entire thing?
The original movie.
It's either the hands or when she was on top of the
The closet?
the closet. Yes,
Okay.
that caught me so off guard, and it was like she just looked so creepy, and it was
Yeah.
loud too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super loud. That
Okay, so we got the
Yeah.
hand. It's crazy.
His is
the
different.
hands never got me.
The hands get
That-
me
it's
every
crazy
time.
because everyone that's like the iconic shot there with the hands coming out from
Bro.
the dark, and it's still great.
and it was used in the marketing too, which is
Yeah.
like kind of surprising. Like why it still got me.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I knew it was coming, but
I think, for me, like what makes something really scary is like when you realize that whatever presence is there has been like right by your side the entire time and you
Okay.
had no idea.
Mhm.
I feel like that's what creeps me out. Like the fact that you were so unaware. And she was like flashing those matches, like trying to see what was coming after her from downstairs. And lo and behold, it's right there.
And I feel like the way they set it up was so perfect because, like, I was expecting the way they shot it, like, I was expecting something to come up the stairs.
Yeah.
Right.
That did not happen. It came from behind where it was so good. James
Dude, and
Wan.
they just come out the shadows like that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
The one that sent chills down my spine was when the witch like basically floats over our main character and possesses her. Like that shot of the demon
Yeah.
possessing her.
Oh,
where she's
Valak,
like
yeah.
vomiting into her.
Yeah,
her
where
mouth, yeah.
it's just like a still camera shot, and we just see this fucking witch like enter into the frame with that. Visuals were creepy. The sound, like that one sent chills down my spine because I just didn't like looking at. That's like one where I like had to like look away
Really?
because the visuals were just so creepy to me. Like that fucking face, man. Like that fucking face is gonna stick with me through the night. Yeah, that one got me the most.
I think, I believe it was the first movie. Do you guys remember when she was watching TV, the little girl, and it kept turning on, and she turns around and sees like the old man was like, "Get out of my house." The guy that was sitting in the chair, I guess he died in the chair or something.
I don't think that was The Conjuring.
That's the second one. That is
Yeah.
the second,
Second
one.
one, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my fault about that.
No, you're good. You're good. All right. So are we
Yeah,
on to
okay.
your
So
scary
on to one of the
movie?
scariest movies I've ever seen, bro. Okay, so this is a recent one for me, and we talked about it a few times now, I think. But when I think of like the scariest movie for me, now I think of Hell House LLC.
That was also on my list.
On your list too?
yeah, I got it in my like my little letterbox list
Yeah.
for this thing here.
Bro,
Just to show you, man.
that one fucking
Yeah,
got
like
me.
Hell House
Hell
LLC
House,
is like
bro.
right at number 4.
Yeah. So our friend Berto watched this movie recently, and he like really got into this franchise. And he was like, "Yeah, you know, it's this small budget found footage movie about yeah, you know, situation that goes wrong in this abandoned hotel. Like they were trying to create a haunted house." He was like, it was a straight to
DVD.
video on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight to video on demand movie. And it was on Prime. So I was like, "Ah, fuck it, I'll watch it." Man, that shit sent chills down my back that I hadn't felt in 10 years.
It is. Have you seen
Man.
the new one?
No.
Origins?
No, I think it's like Return to Car.
No, I think because there's one coming out in 2025, but I think because my friend Berto, he did say Origins was also known to be like pretty scary.
If it's the one that dropped last year, yes, it
Yeah.
is. Like I put it on par with the first one.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It's really good.
Because I've seen the second one. I wasn't a fan of that one, but I do want to make my way,
Yeah, but no, that first Hell House LLC.
bro.
Mm.
And it's, again, it's like crazy what you can accomplish with like such a small budget and
I mean, it's all in one location.
one location.
Limited actors too.
Yeah, limited
Yeah.
actors. Like it's normally just like a small group of people.
But you know what? I really enjoy a horror movie when it is a small group of people.
well,
I
yeah,
do.
because you feel more like for those characters because you're
Yeah.
like building a connection with them the whole
Mhm.
time.
But man, what they were able to do with the shots and that clown,
That clown was creepy as fuck.
that's one of
bro.
the creepiest motherfuckers I've seen in a horror movie. That and the one that got me too was not even like a huge jump scare, like, and that's how effective it is when he was heading he was heading over to the basement and he saw the clown just standing looking down at the stairwell, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And the camera pans like, "Oh, what the fuck are you looking at?"
Yeah,
he
he
pans
looked down
towards
the
the basement
stairs.
and he looks back at the clown and the clown's head is turned.
It's like the psychological horror behind
Yeah.
it. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
like just so many things in that movie happen like that shouldn't happen, and
Yeah.
you can't come up with an explanation as to why, and it's freaking you the fuck
and
out.
then when you see something that like you could picture yourself in, like you could
Mhm.
see yourself in that exact moment with the clown, you turn around and it's looking at you, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
makes it 10 times more scarier.
yeah,
Because the shots that they were showing us, it's not even, they were just like quick shots. So you're not really getting a whole lot to process, but what you are processing is the worst situation you can.
Yeah.
Like even when they were going through, they were testing out the haunted house and they were testing out
strobe?
the camera. They were testing a strobe light. And you
Yeah.
just saw a figure here and there that shouldn't be there. But it was never like a close-up shot or a long shot. you were just getting these quick glimpses of something that shouldn't be there. And yeah, you could really feel, because it is like a POV shot, you could really feel yourself in that same situation.
Yeah, and it just makes it so much more like intense.
Yeah.
Bro, like when all the dolls downstairs, when all the mannequins' heads were turned.
That's the thing too. Like they're not even moving, but you are expecting something.
Yeah.
You were just anticipating.
Like it was the anticipation.
Mhm.
Like they created that anticipation really well. And they just kind of like teased you the entire movie with it, and it just kept you on your toes.
Well, the one that really sent fucking a huge wave of fear down my spine too was when our main character did get possessed under that bed, and he was hiding under the sheets.
Yeah,
He saw the girl in the room, and he comes out and under the sheets a few times, and it gets close, and the demon gets closer each time, and like you're literally anticipating a jump scare, like you know it's coming, but it still gets you.
Yeah,
it still gets you.
And I think what makes the scene a lot better is like when you expect the jump scare to happen, it like lingers on just a bit longer.
Yeah, it took a while.
Yeah,
It did.
then it happens when you're like, okay, it's not gonna. Oh,
Yes.
It's great. It's real great.
It's a good movie though.
No, it is.
I really like it.
Hell House LLC is really great.
It's funny because that was a movie that has was in the TikTok that we talked
science,
about.
Yeah,
and
top 10 scariest movies according to science.
And a lot of people in the comments are like, finally Hell House getting the love that it deserves. Because I mean, even if the other ones aren't as good, like the first one, I think it's a great movie in my opinion.
Dude, I saw some people talking trash about it in the comments though.
Yeah,
and I was like,
you always get that about a horror movie.
I know, but I'm like, I was talking about this the other time too. I was just like, I do not understand how two people can have just like such a drastically different perspective on watching the same thing.
It's funny how that works.
And when you like objectively look at it, like Hell House, I would say like objectively is a good movie. Like it has like the science of a horror movie down pat, and they did it well. And yet somebody can watch that movie and still be like 2 out of 10 movie. Awful.
I think the found footage can really turn people on and off of a movie. Like, because in general, I think found footage, it could either go very well or very bad, just depending on how effective it is. And I mean, even though found footage wasn't like the first, or Blair Witch wasn't the first to do found footage, but it was definitely one that
of like the main.
That created like a bigger name for that genre.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. I know we've said this before too, but made by UCF film students.
Yeah.
What, didn't it have like a $15,000 budget? Like it was really cheap.
It was super low.
Super cheap.
It was super
and
low.
I think it was the marketing that may have knocked up the budget a little more, but super cheap. And that shit brought in like
200 something million.
Yes.
It made a lot of money.
Yes.
And I'm kind of mad that I wasn't even born yet when the whole Blair Witch craze was going on.
Right.
I would have loved to have been alive during that like whole marketing, because I heard it was something where people thought like they actually went missing.
Yeah.
And like I would have loved to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. Like that would have been cool to like experience in real time.
For sure. All right. What's another movie you got down?
Another movie for scariest movie. I'd have to go. Have you guys ever seen The Autopsy of Jane Doe?
I did watch that for you recently.
Yeah, that was I don't know if it was. I think that may be another thing like The Conjuring, where I watched it where I was younger and it just disturbed me.
Yeah,
but it was just like you got this father and son. They're morticians. They're working on like a body, trying to figure out what's going on with a Jane Doe. Like there's no name for her. They don't know where she came from.
Yeah,
but as the movie progresses, her body goes from like old and like messed up from decaying and stuff like that to being younger again. It's like she's a witch from the 1500s and stuff like that. And it just it takes a huge toll on the father and son, and it's just
so I'm not gonna lie, that one didn't get me.
It didn't?
It didn't. Maybe it was because I was expecting it to really get me, but I really like the concept of the movie and just how they're morticians, so what they need to do is they need to figure out the cause of deaths of the bodies that come in. And so each layer that they're peeling back on this woman, you find out something new, and like of like the witch trials and how, and like the marks in her inside of the body of like that she is a witch. And like it's a really cool concept, but I don't know, it just didn't
land for you.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a movie that gets mixed reaction. I feel like it only averages like maybe 2.5 on Letterboxd.
Okay.
So it's like really mixed between a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's just like one of those things where I remember watching as a kid, and it was like late at night, and it's
Yeah.
always stuck with me.
Uh-huh.
Especially like certain scenes where like it would cut to like her face, and it was just like
Right.
it didn't look.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think it is really fascinating how certain movies do stick with people. And I think your environment that you watch a movie in is a huge, huge factor in how you experience a horror movie, especially because we were talking about this too with the movie Smile, and a lot of people didn't find that movie scary, which I mean is fine. But like when I saw that movie, I was in the theater by myself with one other stranger sitting a few rows ahead of me in this big ass theater, just like all alone watching this movie. And like Garrett brought up the point, ooh, what if that random stranger turned around and smiled at you? So it's like,
That shit would have been crazy.
So
Man.
I think the environment you watch a horror movie in really affects how you feel about it. Because lately, especially to get scared even more, I've been watching movies with my Beats over the ear headphones to really get that sound in, and turn off all the lights.
Hey, I respect it. I respect it.
Put a red light in the room, like get the ambiance going, man. I'm trying to get scared.
It works.
It works.
You do it too?
Definitely helps. Oh yeah. I mean, I got decent speakers, so I don't do the whole headphone thing. But
yeah, I don't have speakers. So.
But yeah, like definitely make it dark. Like if you're gonna watch it during the day, close the blinds, do something, make it dark in your room, or just watch it at night. You know,
Yeah.
like people will watch a movie in like the middle of the day. They got their windows open. They're not like creating any kind of like environment for like a horror movie. And it's like, no shit, you weren't scared. Like you're in a totally different world than what's
Than what you
happening in this
should be.
movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one on your list?
I'll go Paranormal Activity, honestly.
Thing.
The ghost stuff creeps me out. Like the supernatural stuff
Okay.
creeps me out.
You're a
It always
supernatural boy.
has.
Mm-hmm.
And when it might not be as scary to me now,
Mhm.
but when I watched that shit when I was younger,
Yeah, no, I agree.
that movie got me.
It did. It did
That
get
movie
me.
got me.
It did get me as a kid for sure. That shit was made for like
Yeah.
15,000.
Yeah, that was a low budget
That was
movie.
real
And I think
cheap.
that one racked in almost 200 million.
Uh-huh.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, it ended
like-
up getting like what 5-6 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's a lot. But yeah, I'll go Paranormal Activity.
All right.
I watched that one recently.
Okay, I'll go with this one next. I'm gonna say The Descent.
I just brought up before
we were
started
just talking
talking
about
really?
it.
I
Yeah.
was like, one that I really want to watch that I haven't yet is
Yeah.
The Descent.
So good.
So good.
And everybody talks such good shit about it. And
Yes.
like, dude, I've just seen like images.
Yes.
And the images look creepy. And I'm like, I gotta watch this movie.
I was telling him about like the initial jump scare
Yeah.
from the movie. It's
Uh-huh.
so good.
So the reason I want to bring up that one as well is because it can also kind of segue to the movie As Above, So Below,
Mhm.
which I watched recently as well. And just the reason those two movies in particular that I think are good as like in terms of a scary movie, I think Descent is a better movie than As Above, So Below, but it's just the claustrophobia of being in a cave. Like you can't fucking pay me enough money to go in a goddamn cave.
Nah, those catacombs and stuff.
Yeah.
And even in the cave, like both
Yeah.
movies are like situations you wouldn't want to be in.
No.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I watched The Descent last year. I was like, oh shit, this is a really good movie actually. Because my girlfriend recommended it. She wanted to watch it because she'd seen it before. And it's so funny. I don't know what superpower she has, but any movie that catches her eye will have like a 30-40% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's some superpower. But she's like, oh, let's watch The Descent. I've seen it. It's good. I was like, okay. And yeah, no, that one got me. And it's
Have you seen the second and third one?
no.
Really good.
Really?
Yeah, really good. Second one is my favorite. I
Really?
really like the second one.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, I think Descent's really good. But yeah, you were telling me about As Above, So Below, and that was one that had been on my watch list. And I think what's so creepy about that one too is just the lore, like the history behind the catacombs of 6 million. It's like a graveyard to 6 million bodies. So what? They like
Like
Yeah.
a bunch of skulls on the wall and
Mhm.
like
Like
just
they- like
full of
these-
bones.
Paris essentially is built on a graveyard. What it
Jesus.
is, yeah. Isn't that's a real life thing? If I'm not, no.
The catacombs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're real.
Yeah, they're real. That's
yeah,
what
they're
I thought.
actually real. It's like the biggest graveyard on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah,
fuck,
man.
bro? Yeah, let's build a city on top of that. Nothing bad's gonna happen. You fucking kidding me?
No, I think about like when it comes to As Above, So Below, there's moments that scare me a lot with it, but I feel like what really scares me with it is like the situational like surrounding, like especially at the end, like you're running, you know you're not gonna make it out, and you drop the camera and it like kind of cuts there. It's like, well, I don't want to know what happened to bro. That's so.
Do you know anything about the filming of that movie? Because I'd be curious to how they.
So I guess the catacombs, there's certain parts of the catacombs that are accessible to people and stuff like that. And then there's like the certain ones that like you kind of got to sneak through, and like you saw that one part where they went through like a bunch of different tunnels to get to some party.
Yes.
They actually do those over there in Paris, which I think is insane.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, partying in the catacombs.
Wow.
I'm good on that.
Europe be on some shit. They do be on some shit. Fuck that.
Man, honestly, I feel like Europe is like where a lot of horror lore started.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense why it's like big over there, but.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. Damn, that's interesting though. Cause yeah, I was just wondering, now that I didn't really think about this when I first watched it, but now I'm like, where the fuck did they film this?
Yeah, the catacombs, I feel like the catacombs, where they could film, they filmed it there, but I feel like they may have been like some set pieces that they could have added to look up. But I think just filming a movie about the catacombs in the catacombs, that's like one of the cool things about it that I like. Like the practicalness. It's not a bunch of fakes like CGI or like just, you know.
You know, I like when horror movies are very real.
Yeah, the practicalness, yeah.
And just like the whole premise of they have to keep going down. And like earlier in the movie, they talk about how hell is so many feet down.
9 stages or something like that.
And like they do finally reach to the gates of hell. And what was it? There's even in the Bible what they say, like you gotta, and they shall crawl in or something.
Something like that. But I know it was what I really liked is like everybody experiencing what they were experiencing did something to experience that. Like it was like, I guess the world's version of a saw trap. They messed up and now they're dealing with that off their own accord. So
yeah, it has a really interesting premise.
Yeah, and this one. So we're talking about As Above, So Below right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
As Above,
I
So
was like, because we started with the Descent. I was just making sure.
No, because it's similar in terms of like a movie being very claustrophobic and taking place
like
in,
underground
in the caves. But and I do like the Descent better. But I think there's a lot of cool lore that goes into As Above, So Below for sure.
Yeah.
All right. What else? Anything else on the list?
Have you guys ever seen Grave Encounters 2?
No.
So you guys know Ghost Adventures, right? The TV show where people they go to like the abandoned buildings to haunt the ghosts and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this crew, they fake their ghost adventures basically, and they go to this actual haunted place that they don't think is haunted, but they find out as they're trying to fake, try to make as much money as they can off the fake the exploration. They find out it's actually real, and there's like portals to like entities, and just it's really good. It's a found footage movie.
Okay.
Oh
yeah.
Shit. Okay.
So it's like recorded as like they're shooting a show, and it's really good. I feel like the found footage adds on to it.
It really seems like found footage is effective when it comes to scare. What else you got? There's
I'm not.
So there's some that I do want to talk about in terms of like a different kind of scare for me, at least. I mean, I can go.
Yeah, well, all right. I'll add this. I have Candyman on my list.
I saw you had that written down. Like, that's an interesting one because you don't see too many like slashers.
No,
on this
you
list.
don't. As far as like getting scared, no.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think Candyman is the scariest slasher that I've seen.
Okay. Whoa.
Again, like
it is. There's something chilling about it.
He's more supernatural, I will say, than other slasher films.
Okay.
But yeah, like, I don't know, like what they did with the bees. And there's some good body horror in Candyman. And I think that's what's creeped me out the most.
The lore was very interesting in that with the whole story of how Candyman came to be.
Yeah, and plus it took you back to the days of when you were a kid and you would like say Bloody Mary in the mirror. Because like, so that's exactly Candyman, but this time you say Candyman in the mirror. And so when they were doing that shit, I was like, fuck no. Fuck out of there. Why are you fucking around with this? Quit doing that shit.
Did you ever play that game as a kid?
Oh no, I
No.
wasn't even testing my luck.
No,
Yeah,
I wasn't either.
I did Bloody Mary once, and I was like
Really?
so terrified for like a week straight. Like, oh, she's gonna get me. I'm
Yeah.
screwed.
Yeah.
But ever since,
Bro.
I didn't even try it.
I have like visual memory of motherfuckers trying to play that game in the Excel bathroom daycare,
Oh,
after school
shit.
daycare.
Yeah.
Bro, I was like, get me the fuck out of here. Because what was even creepier, bro, this daycare center, like, it was a cool place, but like, it was old.
It was a
Like,
house.
it was a house.
The
So,
the main building was formerly a house.
yes. So there was this like upstairs area that was like more confined, smaller, and it had like old wooden panels. And I think there was like a secret passageway, like an attic or a storage place, I'd
Yeah.
assume. But like, I'm a kid. I'm like, this is a fucking secret passage here. What are we doing playing these ghost games here, bro?
Yeah. Like, we don't know what the fuck happened here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I would like to visit that place again. and see.
Now that I think about it, I'd like to
Yeah.
go see that building again. But
I think it's creepier than I remember.
but yeah, I think as far as slashers go, I think Candyman is up there. And yeah, it just brought up like that childhood trauma
Mhm.
of saying that shit in the mirror and
Well, I think
thinking something's gonna pop up.
something very different about Candyman was the environment of that slasher.
Yeah.
Taking place in
Yeah,
Chicago.
yeah, and it was like in an abandoned apartment building.
Well, taking place in Chicago, but then the whole Candyman lore with it was a project built on.
Yeah.
Oh man, what was the lore?
I
It
can't
was,
remember
it was a project. It was a
exactly.
project building, an abandoned project building.
Yeah,
Wasn't like over the land where he got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They accused him of doing something, and they like
Yes.
put honey on him. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was a project building built on that. So yeah, I just thought it had really interesting story to it. I don't know. That one did get me when I first saw it in terms of like slasher.
No,
was a
it
good
is
one.
like when he opens up the
Yeah.
his little coat and he got all the bees
Yeah.
in his rib cage.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like,
No, that
oh,
was that's the scene in particular where I'm talking about body horror. That's,
yeah.
Wasn't something in his contract too where each bee sting Tony Todd got stung? He made more money.
$1,000
yeah,
per
He
bee
got
sting.
1,000. Yeah,
He made $27,000 off of bee stings in his mouth, bro. That is like that's some top tier stuff right there.
I'd have taken that money.
Yeah, if
I'd
they're-
take
if
that
they're-
money all day.
Yeah, if they're like, hey, we want you to do this, and then you're like, for free? Nah, I need like $1,000 per bee sting. He was probably just like trying to get him
piss
off. Yeah, that was smart though.
Yeah.
Extra 27,000.
Yeah.
Very smart contract move there. I mean, because you could die from bee stings.
Hey,
Yeah.
you have to get stung a lot. A lot.
He had a lot of bees on him, man.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it would have been impossible, but
I feel like maybe it's a lot more riskier with bees in the mouth because they can just
Right.
go down and
Ooh.
just sting your throat.
I didn't even think
Oh,
about
yeah.
that. Close
yeah,
up your throat.
it could
Yeah.
like cause swelling. in
So
your
I feel like
throat.
maybe that's why it was like,
Yeah.
I would have said the same thing. I need $1,000
Yeah.
per bee sting.
No, that's
Yeah.
risky shit right there.
Yeah.
So I do have a few movies on here that scared me and just more of like, I just feel unsettled. Like I don't feel right after watching that movie. Speaking of, I mean, we talked about Wes Craven earlier. His first movie, The Last House on the Left. You ever see that one?
I have not.
So came out in 1972, and it is very much just a almost like, what do they call them? Like a snuff film. Just very raw, very real, and it's about two teenage girls, friends that are supposed to go and have a fun night for her birthday to enjoy a concert, and they go into this one part of town to like get drugs before the show to have fun, and just run into the wrong group of people, and like it's very heavy on the themes of like sexual assault and rape, and it's like it feels like you're actually just watching these acts happen, and it's crazy because even after that movie was released, there was a lot of viewers, a lot of people calling in, like asking if the girls filming this movie were okay and alive.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was made on a budget of $90,000, and it was just so unsettling because I don't know if I want to spoil it.
Don't spoil it.
You don't want me to spoil it?
Don't spoil
Okay, because there's this one
Dude,
part.
honestly, I'm like trying not to listen to some of the stuff you guys say because I've been writing down the shit he's talking about.
All right, I won't spoil the ending to that movie, but yeah, I mean, just like it was literally, so it was released on DVD in the 80s and it got banned in the UK until 2002.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like 20 years.
Yes. Yeah. It was just such a raw and like real unsettling film that afterwards, like I wasn't even sure how to grade that movie. Like I was on Letterboxd, I'm like, I don't even know how the fuck to grade this one. It just feels so wrong. You know what I mean?
Do I give it a high for like messing me up, or do I give it a low for how messed up it is? Like,
it's like you ever watch those movies where you're like, I don't know what to do here.
I mean, I feel like if it does mess you up like it's intending to do, I would like give it a good grade. It did what it was trying to do.
Yeah.
It was trying to
But then it's
make
like
you unsettled.
Then it's like you give it the good grade, and then everybody looks at you like, yo, you just gave that movie that.
Why did you like that?
Yeah, you know, it creeped me out a little bit. You know, it was effective.
Yeah, what's wrong with this guy?
Wait, that one was called what? Last House on the Left?
The Last House on the Left.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, there was a remake in, I believe, 2009 that I've not seen. I'd be curious to see how they changed that up because if they did, yeah, I feel like they had to have changed that up in terms of like how they went about making that movie. Another one that I watched last year that sort of gave me that unsettled feeling was Wolf Creek. So
you did talk about that.
Yeah, so this was an Australian horror movie that takes place in the Australian outback. And this group of friends, they do a road trip out to the Australian outback, and there's this one trail that I guess is very popular, but the problem with this trail is that it will kill your battery. There's like some kinetic energy or something.
Electromagnetic field?
Yes, that will have your car not working, your phone not working.
Anything with a battery.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so they get stuck out there. And so, oh fuck, what's his name? I gotta look up his name in the movie. And so our essentially slasher comes out to save them. You know what I mean? To tow them away. Yeah, John Jarrett, who plays Mick Taylor, and he takes them back to like his campsite for the night because he lives in the Australian outback, and it's just like a wicked environment. And what this killer does is like he'll take advantage of families making their way out to the Australian outback and get stranded, and he'll do what he did with this group and take them in and tell them he's gonna like fix their car up and stuff. And
yeah.
There's like body horror involved into it too, which never makes me feel good. But yeah, it was honestly quite a surprise for me. I thought the music was done really well, and almost really brought this like sad, somber effect to the film where you just really feel for the victims here. And
would you hold House of Wax like in a similar light to Wolf Creek, or not as much?
In what terms?
Like as in the unsettling shit.
I think it's more unsettling.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, House of Wax, I just have a fun time with.
House of Wax is like, it's hard to explain because it's like, you know, based off the title, what's happening in the movie. But like when the girl finds out, like when the wax starts melting, she's like, hold up. These are actual people. Like, it's like, wow, that is, it's the entire town too, which is crazy.
I think I bring that up because what you were describing kind of reminded me of House of Wax, where like it was this group of friends and like they're having car trouble.
Right.
She goes to the nearest town and they're saying like, oh, we got you. And then obviously it was all like a lore.
Yeah. But I mean, I would say I put it above House of Wax because and like with House of Wax, it still has its like dumb, silly moments. Like it's funny moments. It's stupid comedy that you just have a good time with. I mean, fucking Paris Hilton's in it. So like you still have a fun time with it. And Wolf Creek is another one of those that just like feels real.
It doesn't have that comedic relief, that kind of thing.
It does not have that comedic relief. Yeah. And it has like very mixed reviews too. Like I think it has a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'll see like 2 stars here and there on Letterboxd. So but whenever I talk about it, the Aussies love when I give it its credit.
Is that your horrible Aussie impression?
The Aussies.
Did I do an accent?
You sounded like you're trying to
did a little one. The Aussies. How else do you say Aussies?
What?
How else do you say Aussies without an accent?
Like you just said.
There's still a little bit of accent in there. So those two in particular really just get me in terms of like that. Another one too. Black Christmas.
The original or
The
remake?
original. The original. Yeah.
Black Christmas is really good.
Yeah, it is fantastic. I haven't seen the remake. Did you?
It's not good.
No.
It's not good.
I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be as good as the original, but
I think the thing is they also tried changing certain things.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work because they try to like adjust it to, modern times.
Right.
Like certain things
Right,
they changed for,
yeah.
because
I hate when
I hate
movies
when
try
that
to do
happens.
that.
Yeah.
They did that with the Carrie remake. Even though I like Carrie, the
Mhm.
remake, like the only thing they changed about the movie was like electronics or like things they were talking about that would be
Yeah.
trending
Mhm.
at that
Like-
point in time.
Didn't they like bully her online, like that kind of thing?
Yeah. Instead of
ba-
her getting bullied
Oh,
at
they
school,
did.
it went
Yeah.
to her getting
Oh,
bullied
okay.
online.
Because I did
Okay.
actually see the Carrie remake and I liked it.
Yeah, I like it. I just feel like sometimes when movies try to adjust things just for the time period it's being released, like
yeah.
Yeah.
the movie came out 30 years ago. We don't need her getting bullied online and cell phones
Yeah.
for, the remake. Not bad, but it's
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Honestly, I always think that making movies before the time of cell phones and everything, really, especially
They're-
horror movies, it makes it better.
It does.
it
like,
makes
it-
the writing have to be a lot better because it can't just be
Yes.
like, oh, I sent them a text. Like it has to be like actually well planned out and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I feel like it creates, because there's a lot of room for error with the new movies that come out where it's like, oh, why aren't they calling the cops? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't
Yeah.
they doing that with their phone? Versus like, you don't have that problem when you do something that came out in if you set it up in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because for a lot of the film, like you don't witness these acts being committed on these sorority girls. You're just hearing it over the phone. But what you're hearing,
It's crazy.
it is. So yeah, that was another one that an old one that came out in 74, and I was like, this shit is scarier than a lot of the recent horror movies that I'd seen. And then fucking 9 years later, he goes and directs and makes A Christmas Story. I still think that's insane.
That is
You're gonna give us a
funny.
Christmas movie like Black Christmas, and then you're gonna fucking give us A Christmas Story.
Christmas story.
Yeah, but no, that one was really good. That one. As soon as I saw that one stuck in my head for like that's still one of my favorite horror movies of all time. That's another great one.
You got another one?
Any last ones before we move on to last segment?
I'm the horror novice here. I'm not gonna give my opinions anymore.
What about Sinister?
Sinister, I wanted to say it, but I didn't
Okay.
know if that would be because like the thing that disturbed me with Sinister was like whenever Ethan Hawke's character was
Mhm.
watching the tapes are like some
Yeah.
of the most
Yeah, that's the
disturbing
scariest
parts
part of the
movies.
movie.
I agree.
So it was like I don't know. I feel like that's what really gets me. I feel like towards the end of the movie, it kind of falls apart a little bit.
Okay.
But overall, the movie it's very creepy and very
Yeah.
very terrifying.
Yeah, because that was number one for scariest movies according to science. And
How did they judge that? By like heartbeat or something?
they do
Yeah.
it by average heart rate, average beats per minute during the movie, and then they measure
The biggest spike.
yeah, your highest spike as well. So that one had like a average heart rate of 86 beats per minute and its highest spike at like 131, which The Conjuring I think had The Conjuring or Host
The Conjuring was
had the
higher.
highest spike, but Sinister had a higher average than that one. Even a lot of horror movie fans that I was talking to, a lot of them would say Sinister was the scariest movie that they'd ever seen. So I was kind of curious how I'd feel about it. And I mean, hey, they weren't kidding about that lawn mowing scene.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That one
Yeah.
got me. But I'm not gonna lie, I think I would still put Hell House above
I would.
I would.
above Sinister.
I would. I feel like the thing with Sinister was like, I think that was just another thing for me. Like the time I watched it,
Okay.
I was super young when I watched it, and just seeing like where he had the family like tied on to the chairs, the pool chairs and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Seeing that and just thinking to myself like, wow, like what if somebody did that to my family? Like I was just
Yeah.
like terrified of that. So it was
Yeah.
like Sinister's real good, but Hell House LLC, they like I don't know, the situational horror in that is
Mhm.
just it's top tier.
It is.
I think I agree with you. Like the third act was the weakest of Sinister, and it just felt like a lot of buildup because that's kind of what I was. That's what I was looking at the tapes as is like that was the buildup to like our big act in the third act, and
Yeah.
then it just like didn't really lead to anything. And it's like I wasn't expecting the tapes to be the scariest part of that about that movie. I thought that was gonna lead into something even more terrifying. Like now Ethan Hawke's gonna have to deal with this guy in person.
Yeah.
And yeah, because like the mask was creepy. Like the
Bagul's face.
yeah, he was
Mhm.
scary.
Yeah, he was.
I think he had his like mouth stitched or something like
Mhm.
that. It was
Yeah.
ooh.
And Jesus, and like
Don't get me wrong. It was still scary.
and like yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like he was like moving in the video. Like he had the video paused and he was like
Yeah.
looking around in the video. Like
Yeah,
that shit was
when,
creepy.
when Ethan Hawke's character was like looking away and he's like turning towards the camera. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, that is creepy because like the camera's looking at us. So like Bagul's turning to us while we're watching that. And it's
Yeah.
just, I feel like that really adds on to why it was
Yeah.
so scary for me, at least.
One thing too that I enjoyed it in that movie was the music. I was a fan of the music, which I feel like sometimes could be an aspect that Blumhouse maybe doesn't excel in is the
Yeah.
music, but I did really like the music in that one, which I think is something that the newest Halloween trilogy, I think, really did a good job at, was taking a lot of aspects of the classic film, but giving it, you know, its own variation of like Michael Myers theme, Laurie's theme. It added like that deep siren.
The updated, like,
Yeah.
it had like a more of a bass with
Yes.
it too. Like, yeah.
Yes. I think the music, even though I wasn't a fan of how it ended, I think the music was one of the best things about that newest trilogy.
Yeah. That trilogy, fan of 2018. I really love 2018.
Okay.
Halloween Kills. I like it for the reason of seeing Michael just
Yeah.
go crazy. I love that movie. Just seeing Michael do his thing.
Yep.
Halloween Ends, I'm not a fan of.
Okay. Let's stick on Halloween Ends for a second. So you don't like it at all?
No, so the movie is not a bad written movie. It's not a bad Michael Myers movie. But I feel like for me being so anticipated for that movie for like 2 years, because they announced that movie like before 2018 even came out. So I was anticipating that movie for so long, and I was like expecting Laurie versus Michael one last time. It's it. And it was just a Michael, Corey, Laurie's granddaughter, like just a bunch of different things. And the way Michael went out, I did not like that. I wasn't a fan of it.
No, I don't like that movie at all. I'm not afraid to say it either. I remember going on a rant about that movie when it came out. That was one review.
You did not like it.
No, I did not. That was one review that actually did pop off. But like I had people tagging me in some other videos, and this is what I hated the most about that shit. Is like I expressed how I did not like that movie, but then, you know, you had other like creators just saying, yeah, you didn't like it because you didn't understand what it was trying to do. Like, motherfucker, I understand what they were trying to do. That doesn't mean I have to like it.
That's what I'm saying. Like I get, you know,
Yeah.
Corey's, you know, that evil transfers from people, but it's like,
See,
not the right movie for it.
Yeah.
oh fuck.
What?
You haven't seen it.
No,
Oh.
I haven't.
Well, plug your ears for 2 seconds. So I need to say this. Okay, yeah, with that evil transfers bullshit, then why the fuck did he die?
That I hated that. I thought if you're gonna do that with him, keep him alive
Then
just in
commit it.
case,
Commit
you know.
to it then.
But to just kill both off is like,
Yeah. Stupid. All right, we're done. That shit pissed me off so much.
yeah.
All right. So I think that'll do it for the scariest movies that we have ever seen. I think we got a good list of movies there. If you haven't seen these movies, make sure to check them out if you want to get scared this spooky season. Because I think last year I really focused on making my way through franchises. Like I think a few years ago I made my way through Nightmare on Elm Street. The next year Friday the 13th. But this year I've been trying to stick with like movies that just
Scare the shit out
scare
of you.
the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because usually I just my go-to horror movies are like the slasher films or the classics. I love the classics. But I'm like, let me see if I can get scared this year.
See,
Wanna
and that's
switch
the
it up.
movies that I like watching. Like, I get sick of watching horror movies over and over that, like, yeah, they're creepy, but
Okay.
they don't really get me.
Okay.
I like being scared.
Oh, you want that feeling?
That's like my whole reason of watching a horror movie. It's like, why am I watching a horror movie if I'm not gonna feel those chills down my spine? That shit gets me excited. That
Yeah.
gets your adrenaline going. That's why I like watching horror in general. So that's why I was writing those damn movies down, bro.
Well, I mean, Insidious is another popular one. I know we're talking about James
I like
Wan.
yeah.
Insidious.
I did have Insidious written down, but I was like, man, we talk about James Wan.
We
enough,
do. But I feel like that has probably the most iconic jump scare.
Yeah,
the,
with
the
the
lipstick
red
face demon, whatever it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. That-
So, but the reason I wanted to bring that up too was because this year at Halloween Horror Nights, they have the Insidious house.
how was that?
scary as shit.
Was it the scariest house there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Might be
I've
the
heard that from 3 different people so far, so that makes me real happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Might be the scariest one that we've ever been to.
Yes.
For real?
Yes. And you're gonna hear different opinions. Like I've posted on TikTok, people saying like that house isn't scary. But you know what's funny? I feel like I hear a lot of the people that say it's not scary are the ones that go to the one in LA in Hollywood, the Horror Nights at Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And they call their houses maze. I don't know if it's like a different setup.
It could be.
I don't know, but I've always heard Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando is better than Hollywood's. And I have done the Insidious house 3 times now, and each time I have gotten more scared. And it's not even the lipstick demon that gets me. It's the bride in the black dress. Bro. There is a few rooms in there where
The masks are really good.
the masks are great and like the lighting is great too. And there's a few rooms in there where they're like full of mannequins. You don't know
Who's who?
who's who.
I think what's scarier than that one is there's one part where you walk through a hallway and there's like 6 doors, 3 on this side, 3 on this side, all open. You don't know which one he's gonna jump out of.
Yeah.
You got no idea.
No, it's
Yeah.
That sounds creepy.
Yeah.
it's a firehouse. I like that
And
house
it,
a
dude,
lot.
it never ends. Like
Yeah, it's
it
long.
just
So it's a long
it
house.
It's a
just
long
keeps
house.
going. Like honestly, like
so
probably the last 3 rooms that we went into, I was at the point where I was like, okay, I'm ready to get the fuck out of here.
how long did it take you from not in line, but from the start of the house to the end? How long did it take you guys to go through it?
That I don't.
It's hard to judge because you're not supposed to have your phone out. But
Yeah, and also
I would
it, like,
honestly,
it feels longer when you're in
It-
there. So
it does.
honestly, next time we go, we should probably like take a timer and just like
I
see
think that
how
would be
long
smart.
see how long it takes to get through the whole house.
but you can just feel that it is longer than the other houses. Like it is long. I would say it's at minimum at least 5 minutes. Like I'd say 5 to 8 minutes.
That sounds cool because I remember when I went last year. I went to the Chucky house. I was in line for 2
I
hours.
heard that was the worst house.
Cleared it in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Stayed
no.
in line for 2 hours for a 2-minute house.
It's-
I was so mad.
I went to Horror Nights one night last year, and we were able to actually knock out everything except one house. And my friend was like, "You could probably skip the Chucky house." And I was like, "Okay, fine."
you did yourself a favor.
Yeah.
It was like it didn't seem like they put any effort into it. Like it was just Chucky boxes and like Chucky dolls just laying around.
Yeah.
There wasn't like anything from the movies or TV shows.
Oh,
like
wow.
yeah,
yeah, it was
Interesting.
just Chucky and like people dressed up as Chucky, like
Uh-huh.
popping out, scaring us.
that
And he had
sucks.
some like, oh, put your phone away. And it was like, oh, my fault. Sorry, Chuck.
But no, the Insidious house is long. Like I'm telling you, it's at least 5 minutes. And yeah, I've always wondered how people get in that position to be in charge of like the creative decisions that go into those houses. Cause I feel that would be fun
That'd be
to work
so
on.
fun. Like you get
Yeah.
to just choose from like a slew of just horror things,
Uh-huh.
like what house you want to do. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
That would be fun to do one year.
Yeah, and like imagine being that guy who just gets to set up the layout and be like, and just like trying to create the perfect situation
Yeah.
to scare the shit out of people.
Well, because what's really great about Insidious 2 is that it is very tight corners. So
Yeah,
it's hard to expect when a scare is
A
coming.
lot of corners,
Yeah.
a lot of curtains.
Yeah.
You don't know like which curtain they're gonna pop out of. That's
Mhm.
another part of it. And I think
'Cause-
for some reason in particular, the Insidious house, for some reason, the scare actors in there get closer to you than
they
any
get
other
close as
house.
fuck.
Like, bro, I multiple times had people this close to my face, like right in your fucking face, and it gets you so bad.
I don't doubt it. That especially like it's dark in there too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
super
it was very dark.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when a set is too big for houses, you can just kind of anticipate when a scare is coming, and then you don't get scared as much. But yeah, so
That sounds
Nah,
cool.
Insidious house is dope.
it's good. All right, let's move on to last segment. Great list of scary movies there. So we're just gonna go over some essentially like pop culture questions, horror movie wise, or like some questions related to horror movies coming out this year, and then we'll end it with a horror icon versus. So with these questions, it'll essentially be like agree or disagree, but you're just gonna tell me like yes or no, and then like dive into your reasoning.
All right.
All right. So first question I have written down. Will Terrifier become the greatest horror trilogy when Terrifier 3 comes out?
It hurts to say this, but no.
Okay.
And it hurts to say because I have such like a, I'm not gonna say a personal connection, but it was cool seeing this franchise grow.
Yes.
But for me, I feel like for it to be the best, like that first movie had to be really good.
Mhm.
First movie was just, the second movie, they really got into the story, which is what I liked, like the story of like who Art is, his backstory. And then, of course, you got third coming out. But that first movie, I feel like really kind of slows it down.
I think the first one was a really great achievement in terms of the practical effects that they were able to do on the budget.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, the story, I think
there was just no story. It was just a clown going around just doing whatever.
What is the greatest horror trilogy then?
Might be. No, it's not recency bias. It's been like 3 years. I got to go with Fear Street.
Okay.
Fear
I
Street,
like that answer.
Fear Street is like, that has to be like the first horror movie trilogy I watched in full and was like, wow, there's nothing I'd change about that. Like how it all came full circle and like you find out what really happened to Sarah. It's like, I liked it.
I think that's an underrated one too, because that was all came out on Netflix.
Dropped them back to back to back too.
And not many people talked about it, but that is a trilogy where I would say all three are very consistent.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are going to talk about Evil Dead trilogy. Yeah.
Forgot about
Evil Dead.
But it's weird with Evil Dead because it's like there's the original movies and there's like the 2013 and then Evil Dead Rise. So it's like if I split them, I put Evil Dead up there.
Man, if Maxine didn't disappoint me, I think easily the Maxine trilogy would have been the best horror.
I'm so glad you guys like are on the same level because I remember when I said that, I was like, I don't know if I was expecting too much from the movie because of X and Pearl. Yeah, but this movie let me down. Like it completely let me down.
I've been huge on those movies ever since I saw them. Like I absolutely love X. I absolutely love Pearl. And you go back and look at the TikToks. Maxine was my number one most anticipated movie of the year. And especially when it said, when Ty West said it was going with, it was going to pay homage to the giallo genre of horror, I was like, okay, like let's fucking go.
And it did pay homage, but it was like, I don't know. I just feel like I expected too much, but it just didn't have that same like feeling that X and Pearl had, specifically Pearl. Like at the end of Pearl, you're just like, wow, she has lost her mind. She's out of there.
No, I think it's really in the third act just disappointed me a lot.
So I don't like the whole like the father doing it because his daughter lost. I don't like that.
I think
that shit came out of nowhere,
out of left field.
We did a review of that movie. And I'm like, we were cooking up ideas that would have been better.
I was just about to say that, dude. We were coming up with like theories and like, or not theories, but like ideas to switch it up. Yeah, and we were like, damn, that would actually have been so much better.
Did and they just brought her dad out of nowhere. Like, my daughter lost her ways. I gotta try to kill it. Like that doesn't make any sense.
No, and like we saw nothing of the dad except for that intro footage, and that was like it.
Yeah. The character got no screen time and shit. Now I'm thinking about it, maybe it's kind of going back on contradicting of why I like Scream 3, but now we got
man. Fuck you.
The thing with Roman though, Roman was placed, even though he didn't get too much screen time, he was screen time. He was placed throughout the film a lot. Like if he was if his movie wasn't getting shut down, he was getting accused for the murders. He was.
Are you a fan of Scream 3?
I like Scream 3.
I like Scream 3 too.
I like all the Scream movies.
That's true. I do too.
Like all of them are good to me. I just have like, specific ranking and stuff.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Like I wouldn't say I like totally dislike any Scream movie, but Scream 3 is my least favorite.
For real?
Yeah. I don't like.
Would you be?
I'm not the biggest.
Since
fan.
There's not much. Would you be able to spout off your Scream ranking?
Yeah. Scream 1 at number 1, Scream 4 at number 2, Scream 6 at number 3, Scream 2 at number 4, Scream 3 at number 5, and then Scream 5. I don't like Scream 5. I'm not a fan of Scream 5.
That was his number 2.
The one thing, like the saving grace of Scream 5 for me is Amber. Amber, she's like one of the best
I'm
go
a
faces.
fan of Amber. Bro, he likes Richie.
I like Richie?
I like
Dude,
Richie.
He had Richie number 3 in his Ghostface ranking.
Richie?
Yes.
I respect it. I say that. I respect it. But what I really like about, like, even though it's not my favorite, what I like about 5 is they show the difference. Like, which Ghostface is killing who. Like, when Richie's killing somebody, he's like throats jabbing them and stuff. Like when the dude in the beginning got killed. Yeah.
Oh, Wes and I forget his name.
It was like a one tap to the neck. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Then plays Red Right Hand.
Yeah.
No, that one was good.
That's so good. Oh, my fault. That's just, I feel like Scream 5 was just good movie, but we've seen it. Like we've seen
Okay.
everything from the first 4 movies was just put into that in just different little.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me
Which
how
is-
Scream 6 is number 3. Tell me that.
So the reason Scream 6 is number 3 for me is I really was invested with Sam Carpenter's, like her character, her
Yeah.
being the
Agreed.
daughter
Okay.
of Billy Loomis.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the end of that movie, like I have a lot of cons, like a lot of things I can talk about, like what I didn't like.
Mhm.
But the end of the movie where she puts on her dad's mask and then kills like Deputy Bailey is like, I really like that. That was like
Yeah.
a full circle moment. I feel like they could have built off of that for the third or for Scream 7, but
Speaking of Scream 7, I mean, it's still on Scream 6 real quick. But yeah, it's really, actually, it's like the plot kind of Swiss cheese. I just feel
the,
like,
the plot was a little loose, and
Mhm.
I ain't gonna lie, there was not a lot of deaths. Like too many people survived. I didn't
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
fact,
yeah.
like
yeah, so being too generous.
I feel like if anybody, you could have kept everybody alive, but what's her name? Gail should have died. She should have been gone in Scream
Gail
6.
should have
legacy
died,
character.
and
Chad should have died.
Chad getting
Yeah, Jenna
stabbed
Ortega's
multiple
love-
times.
yeah.
Mm.
bro was getting stabbed by 2 people,
And he got stabbed like 20 times. Like they
And
was
he got-
just
bro,
straight shanking him.
and he got stabbed in Scream 5 too,
yeah,
and he survived that.
yeah. Scream
Nah,
5
I was
is
like,
believable.
bro, Chad's time is up. Like, let
Yeah.
him go.
Yeah, if he survived Scream 6, we know if he's in Scream 7,
That man is
Yeah.
fucking invincible, bro.
bro got plot armor like crazy.
Bro, for
Seriously.
real. But speaking of Scream 7, so Scream 7 officially gets a release date of February 27th, 2026, as announced by Nev Campbell. Do you think Scream 7 should be getting made without Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega?
I think it's a real like tough like subject because
Mhm.
how I see it, me personally, I don't shame Nev or I don't shame or like rag on Nev for
Mhm.
signing on to the movie because of what happened with Scream 6. You know,
Yes.
they didn't want to pay her what she was owed and stuff like that, and it
Mhm.
was like that's how she she pays her bills. That's how she feeds her family and stuff
Mhm.
like that. She's not doing like too many other roles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, I want to see the movie, but it's like I would rather see it like with Melissa's
Yeah.
character getting her final little story arc. Like, yeah, it's cool if Nev is in there, but it's like, what more could they do with Sydney's character
Yeah.
at this point?
No, I agree. No, I really liked where they were going with Melissa Barrera's character.
Dude, I loved her characters. I've been huge on Melissa Barrera ever since Scream 5. And like, I thought she did an excellent job of taking up the mantle of being the final girl in the Scream franchise. Like, those are big shoes to fill.
No, she did amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
amazing. And it is tough situation because I agree with you. Like I'm happy for Nev because like she needs to get paid what she's worth because
yeah.
that's why she wasn't even in Scream 6. And I thought it was the right move to like bring back Kevin Williamson to direct it as well because I mean he's the reason that this franchise is even what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's such a tough situation because I would love to see Melissa Barrera and I'd love to see Jenna Ortega and just like the whole situation that went down, I just think was like so unfair to Melissa as well. So
It was. Like, my stance on it, I'm not going to shame anybody that wants to see or support Scream 7. Like, it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with me.
yeah,
It's just like me, I'm not going to be like posting a bunch of updates. Like, cause it's like, I don't know. I'm genuinely not excited for it. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to see it when it comes out. Yes. But
yeah.
as of right now, until there's like a set story of what's going to happen, I'm not excited. Cause it's just like, we got to a point of a story and it just cut off. We're going to
Yeah.
start somewhere else now. And it's just,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It feels incomplete.
Yeah.
it does. It does.
All right, yeah, let's get back to your questions, kid.
It is a question.
Mm.
That was a question. All right. Yes or no, Nosferatu will be the best movie of the year.
I trust Robert Eggers. I'm going to go ahead and say yeah. I'm going to say yeah because Bill Skarsgård, Willem Dafoe, those two, I love that. Like, Willem Dafoe's work, great.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård, great. Robert Eggers, like The Witch, The Northman, just, I have faith.
Mhm.
I'm hoping, because, you know, it's been a rough year for Bill Skarsgård.
That's
Boy
right.
Kills World and The Crow.
That's
Those-
right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this one is real good. So, yeah.
I'm going to agree with you and say yes as well.
Wait, best movie of the year? Or
best movie of
Best
the year.
movie, yeah.
Period.
I
Not
think-
best horror movie.
Correct.
No, because like Robert Eggers, this man made
Yes.
The Northman,
Yeah.
the
The
Witch,
Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse. He's
Yeah.
made a lot of
I-
great
Yeah.
films.
I do have faith in Robert Eggers and like I mean this is even taking a lot for me to say because I do have Dune 2 so high of in like such high regards, but the trailers that I've seen of this movie, god damn.
I like the tone. It's
Yeah.
so dark and gloomy and just
I
it's
swear,
gonna be good.
It's like literally, it's one trailer that I haven't gotten tired of seeing. Like the first trailer that we got, because they keep playing that trailer on repeat in line at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Like, keep playing that shit. I'll watch it every time. But no, I do have faith in Robert Eggers, and I think just the cast is just
Great
stacked.
cast. Yeah.
Stacked. Like you said, between Bill Skarsgård, Willem Dafoe, Lily Rose, Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it.
Yeah. Quicksilver.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's Quicksilver. That's right. I always forget he's Quicksilver.
He got done so dirty.
He did get done dirty, bro.
But yeah, no, the cast is absolutely stacked. And like you said, it looks beautiful. It does.
Like the shots, the cinematography, like in the new trailer, there's a shot where it's like a hand in the sky kind of flying over the city. It looks so good. Like, I like it.
I like that answer. I agree. All right, we'll do 2 more questions.
All right.
So, first one's going to be, what do you think the best horror franchise is?
Best horror franchise? I gotta go with Scream.
Scream.
I will say, like, I may not have been around to experience it, but around like that mid-90s mark, like slashers, horror, like was on a down slope. And
Yeah,
Scream,
big time.
like Scream really brought up the slasher genre. Like it really helped. Because I don't think from like 1990 to 95, there's not like any major slasher film that came out, like besides like I think Candyman, that was 92.
Candyman was
Yeah.
92. But again, that wasn't really one that got talked about a whole lot.
Yeah. But I feel like Scream was the one that had people like going to theaters to see more slasher films.
Mhm.
And like 20 years later, we're getting a 7th movie. We still
Yeah.
got Nev, the same final girl from the first one. Kevin Williamson's still a part of it. So I'd have to go with Scream.
That's a good answer.
That is one horror movie that you can genuinely say revitalize the slasher genre, like the horror genre in general, because of not only, you know, just bringing this meta commentary on the franchise as well, but having it be so cohesive with its story, and like it just
Yeah, not like 3 timelines or anything like that.
Yeah,
I do
just
like that
all
about the Scream
straightforward.
franchise.
yeah.
And not to mention like just it being one of the most consistent franchises in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because like we said earlier, like there's probably not a bad movie in the Scream
Right.
franchise. Like you can like one more than the other, but they're all like respectable films.
Pretty decent movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, not only with Wes Craven being a big reason for that, but I think another huge reason is easily Kevin Williamson's writing. Like, it's crazy. You notice he was a writer for 1, 2, which are fantastic ones for me. He wasn't there for 3,
But he was back for 4.
he was back for 4. And I think even though 4 doesn't rank crazy high in my ranking, I do think the concept of Scream 4 was ahead of its time.
The streaming, the kills and
Yeah.
stuff. I will say, I think what makes Scream 4 like that, like the second movie for me in that
Yeah.
franchise is definitely Jill. Jill's my favorite
Yeah.
Ghostface out of like all the Ghostfaces.
Favorite one out of all?
Yeah, like Jill was just, even though she didn't do much, just the fact that she was able to plan so much
Yeah.
stuff out. Because like in Scream 4, she barely did anything. Like she wasn't getting most of the kills and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie was violent, but
Well, that's because she had to play the final girl.
yeah, which is why like I like her. It's
Yeah.
like she played a crash dummy like a dummy, I guess, and just
Yeah.
like still almost got away
Yeah.
with her plan.
Yeah.
But
She
Right,
ranks at
she
number
was-
3 for my
she was-
Ghostfaces.
She was dedicated.
yeah.
She was dedicated.
Like when she was
was.
throwing herself into the walls and
Yeah.
Bro,
stuff.
crazy.
I remember watching that scene, and after she threw herself into the picture frame,
Oh,
when she threw herself into that, I was like, God damn!
they
And
gonna
then
believe
she
you.
was getting ready to jump on the glass table. I was like, "You're good! Like they'll believe it. You're good. Stop!"
Yeah.
And she fucking does that shit too.
Uh-huh.
And I think
But yeah,
what-
she fucking does that too, and I was like, "Oh my
I
god!"
think it's so crazy how she would have really got away like with everything if she didn't slip up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she didn't slip up talking about the shoulder thing.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I know.
Or if she had just like killed Sydney properly.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, too. Yeah, that too.
I mean, yeah. No, you always got to do a tap to the
But
head.
to be fair, what she did to Sydney, like, I wouldn't do nothing like that to nobody. But if I was Jill, I would have thought Sydney was dead. I wouldn't think she was dead.
Yeah,
Right.
nah, like she got it pretty damn good.
She did. All right, wait. I'm gonna answer this question before the final thing
That-
because this was a popular topic on one of our recent Instagram videos talking about the Halloween timelines.
Mhm.
What is your favorite Halloween timeline out of all 5 of them?
Ooh.
Got some
See,
nostalgic ones in there as well.
yeah, see, like, I like Cult of Thorn, but it kind of ends a little bit too crazy.
Yeah.
I like Halloween 78, the 2018 that kills, but then ends really kills it for me.
Yeah.
Like that
If
that
finished
transition.
strong,
Yeah. That transition from 78 to 2018, I liked it like 40 years later,
Yeah.
new timeline. But I'd probably have to go with I don't want to say the ends one, but I'd probably have to go with ends because
Okay.
I enjoy 78, I enjoy Halloween 2018, and then I enjoy kills. I can sit down and I can enjoy ends just on some chill stuff, but if like waiting for Laurie and Michael, how I was, it really
Yeah.
let me down. So it was like, I guess that's like the one thing that kind of
Yeah, the first one that I always go to would be the original sequel trilogy with the Return of Michael Myers, Revenge of Michael Myers, and then ending with the Curse of Michael Myers. And a lot of it does have to play on the nostalgic feeling that that trilogy or that timeline does bring me. Like those are the ones that were always playing on
sci-fi.
Sci-fi, the horror movie marathon.
Yep.
Yes. And again, that is the franchise that did get me into the horror genre. And like I do still think the Halloween vibes in those movies are still unmatched compared to the other Halloween movies. But I think another big reason too why I do love that timeline is the character of Jamie, which we were talking about earlier. How I mean, she could quite possibly be the greatest character in that franchise.
One of the best written without a doubt.
Yeah.
Jamie is like, I don't know, just being the niece of Michael Myers and like the whole thing where Michael was trying to like, I don't know if he was trying to sacrifice her or kill her.
Yeah.
But like where she takes off his mask, she sees his face and she's like, you look just like me. Like a moment like that between her uncle is like, you don't get to see Michael get humanized a lot like that. So I feel like Jamie was a good, like, I guess, asset to humanize Michael in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and I mean, just the performance of Danielle Harris as a kid too
As a kid,
fantastic. So yeah, I always lean towards that timeline, but shit, I love Halloween 3 though. I know there's not many movies in that timeline, but I love it.
See, the thing with Halloween 3, like that movie doesn't involve Michael whatsoever, but I like it. It's a good Halloween film.
Yeah,
like,
I love it.
And I feel like what they wanted to do the anthology thing, but I feel like they could, if they wanted to, they can make their own little Halloween anthologies, kind of like how they did with 3.
Well,
they should have just changed the title on it. And people wouldn't have hated it so much.
Because they're gonna bring they're what? They're making a TV show. They're gonna make a TV show, a Halloween TV show. And I really just wanted them to do like make an anthology series and make an anthology TV show that just each episode different or maybe each season different that just takes place or is centered around the holiday of Halloween. Like I think there's just a lot of cool stories that can come out of that. And I mean, just give our boy Michael a breather for now. You know, just give him a little breather. Like I think the people would really enjoy an anthology series just based around the holiday of Halloween.
Yeah.
I know I would. All right. Last thing for today's recording. I'm gonna just go, okay, so we're gonna go through horror movie icons. I'm gonna start with the verses. And whichever icon wins will go up against the next in line. So whoever you think wins stays in place, and then we'll see who comes out on top. We're gonna start with Art the Clown versus Michael Myers. Who wins?
Art the Clown versus Mike. Okay, so hand-to-hand combat, like strength and all that, I'd probably give it to Michael. But it's like it depends which Michael, because not every version of him is immortal. Art's immortal. You cut his head off, he's gonna have to get reborn by somebody else, and it's just he's back. But I feel like the weaponry, I'm gonna give it to Michael. Because Michael is like he's the OG. I like Art, but Art uses guns. Michael, he uses anything.
Yeah.
Michael uses anything. He can use a car pipe, used like
His
that.
bare hands.
Yeah.
All right, so Art the Clown winner. Or my bad.
Michael Myers.
My bad. All right.
Like,
so
those points he just made meant nothing.
I know. All right. Michael taking round 1. Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees.
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason's deadly.
That's a big boy right there. Jason, that's a big boy.
Yeah. Jason's taking that cake. Especially CJ Graham.
That one right
Jason.
there.
Oh yeah, immortal Jason. Yeah, ain't nothing happening to him.
All right. Jason Voorhees versus Freddy Krueger. Now we kind of see how that plays out,
Yeah, but it's like,
but who actually wins?
I'm gonna go with Jason, because like movie ended with him having like Freddy's head in his hand and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
plus I will say, like, in the real world, like, where if they were to fight, I guess it would be the real world. I don't know if it'd be the dream world.
Well, they fought in both.
Both.
So
And Jason had the advantage in the real world, but
Yeah.
Freddy had that advantage in the dream world. So I feel like, I think it just depends. Like, whoever has the advantage of whatever.
like where they fight.
Yeah.
Because obviously Freddy's gonna be like in his own element when he's fighting.
Yeah, and pretty much in that dream dimension, he can control everything.
Yeah.
So
he's kind of overpowered in the dream dimension, but
I'm gonna give it to Jason though.
all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Jason.
All right. Jason Voorhees versus Candyman.
Oh. Now, physical. Oh, Candyman's a spirit though. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Candyman. I don't think
All
there's
right.
much Jason could do with like a spirit.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
especially
if it's not something he could physically touch.
yeah, and that
Yeah.
spirit can physically touch you. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think there's anything Jason can do to Candyman.
All right. All right. All right. Then keep it on the spiritual plane. Candyman versus Pennywise.
Oh. I'd say Pennywise.
Really?
I'd say Pennywise, because the one thing that's like, he's not like, his original form isn't a clown. This is like some entity from outer space, like an actual demon. And the clown is just like the form it takes to kill kids and like lure them in to get stronger and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if Candyman still has fear post death, yeah, I'm going with Pennywise, because Pennywise, his thing is based off of what you fear. But if he doesn't have fear, and Candyman's just like, he's ready for whatever, I'm going with Candyman.
All right. Okay then.
So wait, are we
you
saying
mean
that's
Pennywise?
Are we saying no? He's saying if
Candyman
Candyman has no fear, he's
Oh.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, if
But
Candyman has no fear,
if
he's
he has
good.
any kind of fear,
Okay.
then Pennywise is taking the dub.
Pennywise
But-
is just going to become whatever he fears, and
Okay.
Yeah.
he's going to
But
use
if-
that as his
But
advantage.
officially,
So
who's
who-
taking that fight though?
I'm going to have to go with Pennywise, just because
All right,
like
all right.
that's like an ancient like
Yeah.
entity from like
Yeah.
a different galaxy or
And
something.
the fact
like
that he can take on like any form too is
Yeah.
pretty
All right.
crazy.
Pennywise versus Pinhead.
Because like Pinhead's not gonna kill you unless you like mess with the little box, but like I'd probably go with Pinhead, because he has a lot of help from the what are they, like the Xenobites or whatever they're called.
Uh-huh.
He has a lot of help from those little I don't know what they're called, those little demons.
All right, we're getting interesting here. Pinhead versus the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
I'm gonna go with Pinhead.
Pinhead.
I'm gonna go with Pinhead.
Jeepers, though, he is taking the cake on a lot of these verses. But
Oh yeah, like for a majority of the ones you said, he's taking. that.
yeah.
Pinhead is like, it's so hard because it's like supernatural versus like non-supernatural.
Yeah.
Like the non-supernatural is like something crazy.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go with Pinhead.
All right, Pinhead it is. All right, last one then. Pinhead versus the Thing.
I like that matchup.
Oh, that's actually tough.
That's a good final round there.
Yeah. That's a good one. Hold up, I gotta think about that one. I want to go with Pinhead, but something tells me like, nah, I gotta go with the Thing on this one, because
I guess like how would Pinhead get like tricked though? Because that is part of the things. Like
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
You mean
like-
like taking the form of other.
Yeah,
Right.
like that is part of his thing, is like to, lull you into like a sense of comfort. But I don't know.
but I feel like it could do something where like it's near a box maybe, and it lures him by getting near the box or activating it.
yeah.
I don't know. That's a real good fight,
It's a tough
actually.
one.
Yeah.
Dang.
Because like obviously like the true form of the thing is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, I don't know.
I honestly don't know where to go.
Dang. That's a tough one. I feel like if
Maybe leave that one to the comment section.
Maybe.
yeah, that one might have to be for the comment section. I legit am like, I'm stuck on that one. That's a real good one.
All right. Let us know in the comments. Pinhead versus the Thing. Who's
Pinhead
winning?
versus the Thing. That's real good.
Yeah. All right. I like that one. That's a good segment to end on right there. So, I mean, that's going to do it for this episode. It's been a fucking great episode.
Yeah, this has been
No,
fun.
I had fun. This has been amazing.
Hell
It's
yeah.
been fun.
So again, thanks for coming on. If you aren't already, make sure you go follow Evan on TikTok.
Thank you,
Evan
thank you.
Solo. You know, don't miss out on that. I already got a milli follows. Make sure to keep giving him followers.
Get him,
Thank you,
get him in
thank
2
you.
mil.
Yeah, 2
I
mil
appreciate
next.
you guys, man. I appreciate you guys for having me too. This has been awesome. Just talking about
Yeah, it's been
movies and
fun.
stuff
Yeah,
with
yeah.
y'all. And like,
We'll have to do
like,
it again.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. But like, what's so cool, like for me about like this is the fact that I met you guys at that Peacock trip, right?
Yeah.
And like we said, like, I'm not gonna say jokingly, but we're like, hey, we need a collab. You should come onto the pod,
Right.
And we actually did. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's really cool to just
Make it
do
happen.
this. Yeah,
Yeah, no, for sure.
really awesome.
So, all right, that's going to do it for this episode. If you made it this far, thank you. This has been a great episode. Thanks for signing up for our Patreon. Shout out to our Patreon members. And yeah, just make sure to give all of us a follow on TikTok or Letterboxd. I know you got Letterboxd too, right?
Yep, Letterboxd Evan.solo.
There you have it. So, and shout out to our very first Protector of the Realm, Kolsum. So, shout out to you for signing up for that tier. And yeah, like I said, if you want bonus episodes, make sure to check out our Patreon. And we had a great time here.
Yeah, I had an
great
amazing time.
Got to do it again, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Most definitely. This
All
is
right.
great.
Yeah. Thanks for joining. And see you next time on Duck Takes.
See you guys.
See you.